They are glowing. Yes.
It's just waiting there.
This is just
To feast them.
It's slow. And they're all coming. There are stacks. Look at the eyes of them. Look at the eyes. More and more and more coming. There's another eye, another eye.
Can't believe how many there are.
Yeah.
Righto, that's it.
Oh, you missed. And it is, of course, how they'd feed on the surface. It's quite impressive. Just need to get this ray out of my way. Move on, mate. So, what they're doing there is basically opening their jaw and projecting it forward in such a quick motion that it creates a huge amount of vacuum, almost like an implosion. So, they're generally quite a ferocious ambush predator. They'll be sitting near a snag like this, waiting for some little unsuspecting fish to swim by, and then absolutely nailing it with that boof. So even under the water you'll still hear it. Still a bit of a thud when they're doing it. Still scares me every time. Bang. Pretty good one there. What they're doing, they don't really have teeth, so my hand's not in too much danger. They've got another set of jaws, pharyngeal jaws, towards the back. They'll then process the food, and so they're pretty much just swallowing it and knocking it out, stunning it. If you're a little fish, you'd have no idea what happened to you. I'll tell you a bit about their life cycle. They're pretty remarkable fish. They're very common up here, obviously. They're in all sorts of waterways. You'll find them in the harbour, in the estuaries, up in the rivers and up in the billabongs. You'll also find them on a lot of menus up here. And they're all born as male. I'm not sure if you know that, but neither. You have? Okay, cool. So, tell you a little bit about Daly River. Most of you aren't from here. If you go about 2.5 hours southwest from here, get to a beautiful part of the Northern Territory, Daly River region. There's a big river that runs through there. There's also a little township called Daly River. Some nice hot springs too, so check it out if you're in the area. But if you go down to the Daly River there, it's there's a beautiful spot called the Ulu Crossing. And what we've tried to do here is recreate that environment. So it's a typical sandbar that you'll find on the Daly River. You've got these sloping sandbanks, these big snags or logs in the water that provide the habitat. You've got some sandy banks as well as some really nice vegetated banks here that stabilise everything and provide shelter and a food source, which I'll explain a bit later. And you also got these big paper barks, these melaleucas. You'll see them everywhere down that way. Really significant river system, supports a huge amount of wildlife. It doesn't dry up at all. It's fed by one that's really obedient and spits almost every time. And then we've got the other guys that just know they're going to get a feed afterwards anyway, so they don't bother. Pretty clever. Apparently their eyesight's so good they can tell faces apart. They're going to get fed. As much as I'd like to say we trained them really hard to do this, it is a natural feeding behaviour. And if you go down to Berry Springs, I've seen people holding little bits of mango. And if you're good and you're patient, you'll get the archerfish to spit, which is quite interesting. See if we can get one more. I think he's had enough. Ready for his feed. Through your legs, man. So 7-spot archerfish, there's a few different species up here as well. We've got 5-spot archerfish and 3-spot archerfish, and then there's some primitive archerfish which don't have any patterns. I don't think they're in a fashion, but you can see some of these in the aquarium. I think they've run out of patience with me. Unless, are you going to do it again? No, had enough. Any questions about the archerfish? She comes in quite quick, and you saw the way she rushed in at the sandbank. Now that's also a natural feeding behaviour. So they've been seen on the Daly River, cruising up the banks and herding a whole lot of little fish up into the shallows, and then launching themselves on top. They also, of course, forage for food and dig through the sand looking for mussels and all sorts of things, invertebrates in the sand. I'll tell you a little bit about them when they come up. They're pretty cool animals, stingrays. Is anyone scared of stingrays? You're not scared of stingrays, are you? Absolutely no need to be scared of stingrays. I'll explain that in a sec. Unfortunately, Steve Irwin, they've got a bit of a bad rap. I've never ever
Don't
heard
ride
of a
them.
stingray attacking anybody. It just doesn't happen. They do all have a barb, and these definitely have a barb as well, but they'll only ever use it in self-defense. So their barb's made of a keratin, like your fingernail. They can grow it back, but it generally takes up to a year to grow that back. So then they're defenceless, and in a big river like this, they've got to deal with big crocodiles and maybe even bull sharks, and you need to be able to defend yourself. So we can all see these little holes. You saw heard a bit of a burp then. Those little holes are called spiracles. The eyes are just in front, only tiny little eyes. Those holes basically act as a filtration system. So their mouth is underneath, they're sucking up their food, and then anything they don't want, the sand and the dirt and the algae, they're just spitting out through those spiracles. Every now and then they'll give a little burp too. Their eyes, we believe, are not terribly good. They don't rely too heavily on their eyesight. Apparently they're colourblind too. But what they do have is a really good sensory system, basically allowing them to pick up a whole lot of little electrical frequencies like muscle twitches and heartbeats. And they also have a really good sense of smell. So underneath they're incredibly soft and sensitive. If I put a fish anywhere near its big disc there, it'll pick it up straight away. Quite amazing how sensitive they are. And on top they're quite rough. So they are elasmobranchs, they're related to sharks as well, and that's because they don't have any true bones. So they're made of cartilage. They're just a big disc of muscle pretty much. You can see the little eyes up here. Very strong as well. There you go. Here's you. I'll talk a little bit about the barb. You're all probably wondering. It is quite close to the base of the tail there. It's about that far away from the base of the tail. It's very streamlined with the tail. It's a pretty nasty object. It's about 30 centimetres long. It's a sharp spear-like object. It's got a whole lot of one-way hooks. So it's basically designed to go in and then not come out. So does anyone know anyone who's ever been barbed by a stingray? Sorry?
Very good.
So I can show you how to tell them apart. It's quite easy. So the females have these ventral fins that are really flat fins at the base of their tail. Here's amazing when you see if
You think they will go and disappear?
Always hungry, this one. And the males have these two little dangly bits called plasters. So you'll see it on that.
So don't they grab your feet with their mouth?
They can't get there.
No, their mouth is about there. Under the eyes. So we're going to get a splash. Hey.
So all of them you can look.
See the little...
Because they're protecting their crocodile.
They sort of have these big ones.
You don't want to mess with the female crocodile and a baby. I'm pretty sure it's playing in the human world anyway. You don't want to mess with
Shoot.
So if you put that fish anywhere underneath it, it's straight away jumps on.
Only my feet. More.
I like this guy. This guy's my favourite. He's a little boy. He's just really gentle.
If I am going to lead into a bad dad joke, what's the crocodile called human children? Appetizers. Just there. Funny little nose. Just splash it down. Put your hand out. This stuff there. Feel the tail too. They're not going to barb you. It's just like this whip-like thing.
But you said the barb, how the barb?
Yeah, you see it there, yeah. Sometimes they really launch. I think it's a bit shallow at the moment, so they can't really launch it out. Hey, see how strong they are there? They really grab onto it. Oh, we're going to get a splash here, watch out. You guys had a fun day? That's good. Kids love it. Oh, Raymond. Little baby one. See the little bastards down there? That's how we tell them apart.